Welcome to the Sports Card Lessons Podcast. I'm your host, Big Ken. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on a streaming service, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop any new content. Welcome. Thanks for being here. We had another early Sunday morning game today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch, although Jets and Broncos, the outcome was what most of us were expecting. So if you slept in, I don't think you missed anything. As promised, an episode from the road. I've driven through 9 states and into 1 Canadian province. Today's episode is being recorded in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I drove through the northern U.S. here, and I will drive home through southern Canada on my way home. One of my goals was to try to hit some LCSs on this trip. And some of the obstacles I've run into is hours of operation and proximity to where I'm staying. My second night, we stayed in Chicago, first major city. We arrived late. LCSs were closed, and we left before noontime, where most opened at noon or 1 o'clock. So completely missed Chicago, which was one of the places I was hoping to be able to find some stores available to go through and dig through some boxes and things. Madison, Wisconsin was our next stop. I went to the Rabbit Hole Sports Cards located inside a shopping mall. And I can honestly say I didn't have high hopes for this store, not for any other reason, but that it's located inside of a mall. And I say that knowing, that most of these jerseys in a mall, and I understand they can't live on selling single cards, right? So a lot of it is jerseys and hats and memorabilia and autograph things and pictures and things like that. Very little wax. Just some retail. I mean, it had retail wax in there, but there's really nothing that's on the shelves right now that I would be buying. Knowing that when I left, I would have packed some one touches and some penny sleeves and things like that. But knowing that there's just nothing, I mean, even at my local stores, my local Walmarts and Targets and things like that, there's nothing on those shelves that I'm interested in buying right now. So there's no sense putting that type of stuff in the cart, because I didn't think, I would be finding anything to rip anyways along the way. Our next stop was in Fargo, North Dakota. I went to the Triple Diamond Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Now, 3 days of driving, and this was a jackpot for me. So excited to find this store, decent sized store in a strip mall. Tons of cards in the cases, as well as boxes to dig through. I even had Sherry in there digging through boxes. we had a good afternoon there. It's one thing when you're on the road driving, and you check in and you want into a hotel and you want to find, like, this was like just a great little activity. My man Connor there took care of me, or took care of us, I should say. Not only did I find a nice little lot to buy, but discounted 20% on top of it because I was buying a lot. And I'm going to share the pickups in a minute that I got there, but I have to say, and this is one of those things that, you have to know where you are when you're going to these places and what you're looking for, right? So here, traveling on the U.S. side, I walk into these stores. They're football heavy, basketball heavy, right? Basketball season is right around the corner. But someone like me who I dabble in lanes not traveled, and for me, women's basketball, women's NCAA basketball, right? And a lot of these stores you even go into, you're going to find, just like any show, right? You're going to find a couple Caitlin Clarks, even though that I think that, most people have just put her cards away right now. You still find 1, 2, 3, in most of these stores. But going into this, these stores in a lane not so traveled, right? Taking the path less traveled, is you going in there with store with thousands of cards, right? So someone like me coming in there buying, right? And I start to find these women's cards, right? And for the stores, I know they're hard to sell, not so popular cards. So they're rarely comped, right? After they're initially priced and put in the case, they're rarely comped. People aren't in there with, I mean, some stores do. And I will say locally, whenever I pull, anything out and people know me, know what I'm looking for, they always want to make sure they're getting their most out of their cards, right? So a lot of the cards will be like, oh yeah, let me check that. I haven't comped those in a while. Let me just look through that, right? So I know sometimes if a card's marked at like $50, right? And I know the last ones are selling at $80 or $90, and I'm hoping to get that at 50. A lot of times it's going to end up being more than what the sticker price was on the card. And I understand that because, again, these cards aren't being comped. So you go into a store like this where somebody's just happy to see somebody going through these cards, right? And they're like, yeah, we're happy to sell those cards to you, right? And for me, knowing that I'm getting some of these cards under comps, that's a huge win for me. And then on top of it, they're happy to discount it because someone's actually interested in it. So it's a win-win for both of us, right? I mean, you could say, oh, the store is losing out a little bit but I just think they're happy to sell them because I don't come in and buy them, right? Somebody else may not ever come back in and buy those cards. Right? I mean, who knows? Who knows when somebody will buy those cards? So, I mean, to me, I think it's a win-win for both of us. Imagine that, both sides being super excited about, you know, a deal. And I'll share some of these cards with you now. Like I'm gonna usually I start with the lower end to the high end. I'm gonna kind of go in reverse today. Super excited about this card. It's Bowman U Best Silas Swords. It's a red, 3 of 5. I'm just gonna hold that up for you. If you're on YouTube, I'll show you that card. Super excited to get that. A couple Cam Brink cards. The Pulsar Cam Brink. This is WNBA. Cam Brink Pulsar number 2, $4.99. And these are all raw. And this is a silver prism. We got a Sarah Strong light blue prism. These are the Bowman U, first Bowman. So imagine just finding this in a discount box. Super excited. All these cards, the rest of these cards, all found in a discount box. Jordan Lee, Bowman U Best. This is the yellow to 75. Audie Crooks, purple number 2, $3.99. All first Bowmans. Raven Johnson. So this is an auto, first Bowman auto. And as I'm looking at this card, I'm trying to remember I can't get it off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm just going to hold that up anyway. Let's show you. Couple of Juju Watkins cards, making the grade. And I don't know where I'm just going to show it to you. I can't think of the name of this offhand either, but super excited to get these cards. I go into a lot of stores, I go to a lot of shows, and I have trouble finding these cards. So, the crazy thing is, especially with like the Juju Watkins first Bowman and the Kiki Rice first Bowman, these cards would have been pulled out of when Wemby was there. So that people were just ripping these boxes trying to get Wemby. And of course, Caitlin Clark was in there too. But, the Caitlin Clarks have all been sold off. But there's I know there's boxes of cards. People have boxes of cards somewhere. And I'm just waiting for those to come out. I'm waiting to find those cards that I get super excited when I do find them. I'm always sharing with you guys. Super excited when I find these cards. Back, I couldn't remember what season. I didn't want to go back and look. I think it was season 2 or season 3, when I did an episode where I came here to Winnipeg and I went to 4 LCSs, the 4 LCSs in Winnipeg. So this time, shorter, not as much time to spend, family reunion, lots going on up here. I did take some time yesterday. The one store that I did find some cards in last time, I figured out where that store was, and I only had time to hit one. I said, this is the one I'm going to go to. Went to the store yesterday. It was Can Cards. Went to this store yesterday. Definitely, this store has been remodeled from the last time I was here. Can Central Sports Cards was the name, and I could definitely tell it had been remodeled since the last time I was there. I think it's been probably 4 years or 5 years. And as expected, hockey heavy. And if you listen to that episode way back when at the beginning, the Winnipeg, definitely all hockey heavy. It's weird, like for me, to go into an LCS and see 95% hockey. One small section of about 10 or 12 football cards, right? Mostly base cards, Don Russ or select football, all rookie quarterbacks, but cards that like at a show I wouldn't even put in my case. I mean, it may sit in a $2 discount box or something like that I wouldn't even put in the case. And I know I talked to these guys. Anything of value in football is sold online because there's very little market for American football in Canada. In fact, the section for the CFL, the Canadian Football League, was twice the size of the American football. Not big, maybe 24 cards, 25 cards, right? And they were both like just a small section. I mean, you figure you go in and there's glass cases, throughout the whole place, and 95% hockey. Even the wax that you find at the store was 3 walls of hockey. And one of the interesting things that I found there was even the Pokemon section was super small, where what we know now, what's happening now for us is, even in the LCSs, the card shows everywhere, like Pokemon stuff is really have taken over this last year and a half. It's really just it's become such a part of the shows that a lot of people now are saying, oh, well, we're doing 50% Pokemon and 50% sports, right? Where, if you said that to me 3 or 4 years ago, or anybody that's what it would be like right now, people would be like, yeah, I just can't see that happening. So now here I am in Canada, and I'm thinking to myself, well, now, we're talking about a sport, right? So hockey being, Canada's sport, and the US, it's baseball, basketball, football. But Pokemon, right? You would think that it would be just as popular in the stores up here as down there. And, the guy said, yeah, I mean, we have a nice little section there, but, it's not a big deal here. It's not as big deal as I described as it is in the US. So that was an interesting thing. And probably had I known more about Pokemon, that may have been my better buy right there than actually nothing at all, because I was getting into saying the wax. I mean, the football wax, they had just a couple like select blasters on the shelf. They had some older Bowman U football sealed, like 2022 boxes on the shelf, stuff like that. Just some odd stuff that there was just nothing in there that, and you know as well as I do that you go into these stores and you're really, the goal is to buy something, right? You really want to buy something, and you're like, let me just make one more lap. I got to miss something. There's got to be something here I could buy. And nope, there was nothing there for me to buy, which was, somewhat disappointing, but I'll get over it. And one of the other things is uh, our money is stronger, our dollar is stronger up here, so eh, I don't know if it all evens out at the end, if things are just priced higher and whatever, but um, always hoping to buy something, especially when it comes to the hobby. Um, I'll have 3 more driving through a couple provinces to go home. 3 more stops in Canada, and it's keep trying to hit the LCSs and see what I come up with. Continue to continue to try to buy something, anyways, other than hockey, because I'm not a hockey guy. Um, Depending on the timing and the strength of my internet connection, Zip and I are hoping to record and get you an episode this week. So stay tuned for that. A great time to tell you easy for me to say, to subscribe, so you'll be notified anytime I'm dropping any new content. Just may not be on our regular day this week. And yeah, just a nice short episode, just an update. I was hoping that I had more success at some of the other stores I stopped in to have more content or some bigger things to share with you. But that's it. That's been my hobby in a nutshell for the last week, driving across country. So hopefully I'm going to come up with some nice gems on my way back. But either way, you will get a brand new episode from me next week when I am home. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, please definitely subscribe. And most importantly, tell a friend and spread the word. Till next time, take care of yourselves and everyone around you.